also super shout out, super thank you to Crazy Fast, who's been doing these super comments recently, and I don't get those at all anymore. I used to get them from time to time, but now not at all. But Crazy Fast is, I guess, starting the trend back up, so thank you, super thank you for the super comment. Crazy Fast, you are the best. Thank you so much. Alrighty, we have here the 2023 NBA Free Agency Day number 1 signings. Now, I would go over like the grades and sort of things like that, but we're gonna be doing that at a different day. I think Tuesday. I'll do like a total package deal of all the things that go down. But again, I kind of want to daydream because there are a lot of trade and signing speculations out there that I think are kind of fun to talk about. But yes, one of the first big signings, the first sort of domino to fall was in fact Draymond Green going back to the Golden State Warriors, which isn't surprising at all. I'm sure a lot of people saw this coming. There was some hints that maybe he would try to go somewhere else. I mean, places like, I don't know, the Lakers, the Dallas Mavericks, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Sacramento Kings were also like a big time piece that was hoping to get a little bit of Draymond on their team, but he's returning to the Golden State Warriors for a $100 million contract, so that's 4 years of around $25 million a year, which is actually not bad, which I know is kind of crazy that $25 million a year for a player is not bad, but Draymond is one of the best defensive minds we have in this era of NBA basketball. Another domino that fell kind of quickly, Kyrie Irving, returning to the Dallas Mavericks, which this was not supposed to happen, in my opinion. I really thought, which I'm leaning over a lot, by the way, because the microphone is a little bit lower. Anyways, I thought he was actually not going to return to Dallas. I thought it was going to be like a sign and trade sort of thing again, where he would go to like, I don't know, again, like the Lakers, the 76ers, with another piece of theirs, not sort of going in the right direction, that being the 76ers. Where else could he have gone? I don't remember a lot of other sort of names out there, but there were some. Oh, the Houston Rockets were another team. But he's staying in Dallas. It looks like Dallas's trade for him didn't come with nothing. They actually got him back, which is pretty surprising. And they did get a lot better defensively, which is the pieces they gave up for Kyrie being, Dorian Finney-Smith was a pretty big defensive piece, obviously, on that team, and they got better defensively over the draft and a little bit through some other stuff that they did. Jeremy Grant returning to the Portland Trail Blazers. This was actually a 5-year contract extension. 5 years. That is insanity, that you can sign a player for that long, for $160 million. Which I know sounds kind of interesting, because it's the biggest number we've said so far, and it's definitely not the best player we've said so far in Jeremy Grant, but it is over a 5-year period. Jeremy Grant right now I think is 29, 30, 28, somewhere around that range, so definitely at the latter end of this contract is definitely going to be not so pretty, but right now I think his starting salary for next year is going to be around $27 million, which I think is actually kind of a steal. If you think, Draymond is at a 25-ish, that's actually not that bad. And again, it's over 5 years. It is an overpay, in my opinion, especially during the latter half of that contract signing, but Portland doesn't really get nice things a lot often, so being able to keep a guy who's, long, lanky, can score the ball very well, pretty much a stretch shooter, can defend pretty okay. He's not what he used to be, but still a pretty good defender in the NBA, and for a fact a lot of other title contending teams would have snagged him if given the opportunity. So to keep that into some perspective, Cam Johnson of the Brooklyn Nets re-signed as well with the Brooklyn Nets. They're all kind of in that sort of $25 million area, which in my opinion is kind of the price for like real a sort of like bargaining agreement that all of the teams sort of fall under. Their teams are going to be able to spend more and more every single year. The cap increases every year, so these contracts that seem insane now, in 3 years, are going to seem like normal. I think maybe we should go to maybe the Raptors with Jakob Poeltl staying as well. A lot of players stayed, by the way. I mean, it was kind of a boring draft, which is fine. That happened. A draft free agency, which kind of happens. But Jakob Poeltl stayed with Toronto, keeping their only big man there, which makes sense. They traded a first-round pick to get Jakob Poeltl here, so he's gonna stay there. 4 years, $80 million. Not too shabby. But that is not the only thing that happened up there in Toronto. I was down there in Toronto, but up there in Toronto, that Fred VanVleet did not return to the Toronto Raptors, getting paid $130 million contract for 3 years. Yes, $130 mil for only 3 years. I think that's what, 40 mil for 8-12. That's more than $40 million a year for Fred VanVleet in Houston. So again, Draymond, Cam Johnson, Jeremy Grant, Fred VanVleet. I like Fred. He's an ex-All-Star. He's a pretty solid player. I think last year was his worst year, which is kind of surprising that he's getting this big of a payday because it really wasn't his best year, at least statistically wise. But he's getting paid like it over there in Houston. Now, of course, Houston needs definitely some mentorship on that team, so he's kind of getting paid for that. He's also getting paid for his talents, and also getting paid to be there just in case if Houston strikes fire and maybe does get a superstar player to join them. Maybe they just get really good super quickly and their rebuild sort of accelerates. Having a veteran and an NBA champion in Fred VanVleet already there established could be very key. Chris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks ends up staying in Milwaukee. You're kind of seeing the, how do I say this? The way this free agency first day has been. He's staying in Milwaukee. 3 mil, $102 million. A player option in the 3rd year. That's, again, not that much for a guy who, man, sometimes is the go-to scorer of this NBA contending team. He's definitely a little bit wishy-washy when it comes to his health. Maybe another reason why he didn't really get that big of a contract, or maybe because his contract is a kind of a weird one. It's not like a max extension, it's 3 years. Last year was a player option. I can kind of see why this happened, but also pretty intriguing. He definitely did take a pay cut, but still, man, I'm nervous about that Bucks team. They are old. They are old, and they are very, very, very injury prone, and I hope they can find a way to get some depth on that team, or, like I've been saying, a little bit, that maybe they should look in other ways to put some talent around Giannis. We're gonna have to see if they do that or not. Another big time name with Kyle Kuzma, who is also linked to a bunch of teams, like again, a return to the LA Lakers, maybe potential young sort of run with the Houston Rockets. Another big time team were the Sacramento Kings, which in my opinion, I thought they were gonna get him, but Harrison Barnes actually re-signed there for a pretty hefty contract. I thought Kyle Kuzma was gonna be a king in my opinion, but he stays in Washington. So Kyle Kuzma stays in Washington. 4 years, $102 million, which in my opinion, a little bit of a steal, to be completely honest. Kyle Kuzma is a pretty solid player. I think a lot of, again, title contending teams, a lot of up and coming teams, like again the Sacramento Kings and some other playoff contenders would definitely love to have on their roster, but decides to just stay in Washington. And I think we know why. He just wants to make money signings that I saw. Signing with the Indiana Pacers for a 2-year, $45 million contract. A player that signed in free agency last year for I think around 6 to 8 mil is now getting paid $22.5 million a year. Wow. Now, do I think it's an overpay? Yes. Do I think the Pacers are overpaying him for a reason? Yes. And I think it's okay. Indiana Pacers aren't a team that's like trying to build a title contender. They just want to build building block pieces to set a good foundation for their team. And I think they think it's time for them to make a little bit of a push for maybe a potential play-in/playoff run with Tyrese, Ben Mathurin, Miles Turner, Jarris Walker. A lot of these young guys who haven't really had that much experience in the playoffs, now surrounded by maybe some better veterans, like again Bruce Brown, can maybe elevate this team enough to have some of that playoff playing experience that obviously young players really need in order to make that jump into making them, conference scary teams that no one wants to face in the playoffs because they've been there so many times. Rui Hachimura stays with the LA Lakers, 3 years, $51 million after having not the greatest year, and even getting traded at the trade deadline for I think like a second round pick or 2 second round picks, to having a very key role on this team, definitely in the playoffs, which makes him get this bag. So shout out to the playoffs for having this guy improve a lot. Gabe Vincent also makes his way to the LA Lakers. Another great signing, I think. Probably means that D'Angelo Russell is not returning, which does scare me because I am a D'Angelo Russell fan. I love D'Lo in LA. LA is one of my favorite teams, but Gabe Vincent, a little bit more of a defensive player, a little bit more of a passer, facilitator in a team that was just in the NBA Finals. He was on. So having that, a little bit more maybe of a mature player, no offense, it's probably better set, and he probably is going to start for this team next season. So Seth Curry to the Dallas Mavericks, definitely not too shabby. Dennis Schroeder to the Toronto Raptors, which yes, Toronto does have a point guard now, and it is Dennis Schroeder. 2 years, $26 million. In my opinion, that's an overpay, but when you need a point guard, you pay to have a point guard, I guess. Karis LeVert goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 2-year, $32 million. Well, he's actually staying on that team. Anything else? Kobe White with the Bulls, 3-year, $33 million. Dorian Prince also going to LA, which, by the way, he actually saw that he was traded from social media knew before even Dorian Prince knew that he was traded. Very sad. Any other big time crazy ones? Not really. Reggie Jackson goes to the Nuggets. Javon Carter goes to the Bulls. A bunch of Suns players just getting thrown at the Suns, a bunch of really cheap, mid-level, the bare minimum contract you could offer an NBA player. They got signed to the Suns, I think Drew Eubanks and Metu and some other random players are joining the Suns, which makes sense. They need to develop that team as much as possible. And yeah, that was kind of the big time type of names getting signed. They have a bunch of other smaller people getting put in random places that I'm sure a lot of you already know about. Oh, Derrick Rose going to the Memphis Grizzlies. Yes, Derrick Rose on Memphis with Marcus Smart. Again, John Morant is suspended for I think 25 games next year. And they fill out their guard rotation with Marcus Smart and Derrick Rose, which I think was very good. And then very quickly, some players got extensions on their teams, players that have been on the team and weren't free agents, but extended their contracts anyways. Kristaps Porzingis of the now Boston Celtics, I think extended his contract 2 more years for $30 million each, so $60 million. Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies got a super the Supermax if you're a good player. Supermax. And that's crazy to think about because they have to pay him, Jaren. They have Marcus Smart now. Oh man, I don't know how they're going to do it, but Tyrese Halliburton, 5-year contract extension. Supermax, $260 million. I think that comes out to around 50 to 60 million per year. Players in the NBA are getting paid 50 to 60 mil. And it's Tyrese Halliburton, a player who's not even in his prime yet, not even peaked, had maybe 1.5 really good years in the NBA. 260 million. Wow. Now, honestly, that was kind of it for NBA free agency, which is kind of sad. As for the big names, now there are a couple of players out there that are still notable to be named, like again, Austin Reeves, who can be a big-time player for a lot of different teams, but he's probably going to stay in LA. D'Angelo Russell of LA, I think, is going to be on the move, but he's not really yet tied to Turner, but could be interesting to see him in a different uniform. I think Russell Westbrook is still a free agent technically, but I think he's going to also stay in LA, but for the Clippers. Anyone else I can think about? Let's see. I'm looking down the line here. Dante DiVincenzo of the Golden State Warriors. I could really see him signing with any of sort of like the big-time title defending teams. Man, I could even see him going to Denver to sort of fill the hole of Bruce Brown. I think that's probably going to be my pick, actually. Sort of like a team like him, or man, even a team in Miami, or I think even the New York Knicks, where he is also a Villanova Wildcat, can team up with Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson. Be a trifecta of Villanova Wildcats over there in NY. Max Strus of the Miami Heat, who is notably known as being a no-show in the NBA Finals, but his NBA playoff run has got him a lot of buzz of being sort of a big-time player who's going to get a pretty hefty contract. I wouldn't know where he would go. In my opinion, he'd probably go to like maybe a lower-tier team. Probably not like a championship title contender, but definitely maybe like a mid-tier team. Oh, you also have Brook Lopez, Christian Wood, Patrick Beverley. I think what's also kind of fun to think about is maybe even NBA trades. Like, of course, James Harden sort of being the first one we're going to talk about with him, sparking another trade request, which, wow, another trade request from James Harden. Who would have thought he might be going to the LA Clippers? That's his #1 destination, and there have been other sort of teams out there like the New York Knicks, I think the Miami Heat. I think those are the teams I've seen, or of course the Houston Rockets, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore with the big-time signing of Fred VanVleet. But wow. Yeah, Harden's on the move again, which means a big-time question mark for the, I guess, reigning MVP of Joel Embiid. Does he stay or go? His second-best player is going to be Tyrese Maxey or even Tobias Harris, unless that team makes a decent enough trade for James Harden. I don't know where that 76ers team is going to be next year without having like another co-star, unless that team is just insanely deep around Joel Embiid. Maybe that could work. There has also been trade rumors of Paul George, but I think that isn't going to happen anymore. Damian Lillard, of course, in trade rumors. Now Portland is technically trying to build around Dame still, even though it's not happening. Yesterday at the recording of this video, Portland re-signed Jeremy Grant, and that was their day. That was their big time let's go piece. Something we all already knew that was going to happen, of them re-signing Jeremy Grant, because they literally had to do it. So now it's big time go mode for Portland, and I guess at the recording of this video something might have happened. If not, who knows? But if something doesn't happen, might be saying Dame goes somewhere else. Of course, Miami, the Philadelphia 76ers now with them leaving James Harden, they have a pretty big spot there for Dame to be there. Any other team I can think about? I mean, I guess the Brooklyn Nets, but I don't know about that. But, you know, Dame is definitely in some trade rumors as well. I'm sports talking video talking about a plethora of different topics, and I think basketball is going to be one I'm really going to be focused on because I'm assuming by Tuesday a lot of things are going to happen. So make sure you do like the video. If you do like the video, make sure you comment down below what you think is going to happen, what things do happen. You can update maybe me through the comments of this video, update others in the comments what you think is like the best move, what was a bad move, things like that. And